As you know, I love bringing in guests and discussing about whatever with them here on Talking at a Time. Today I brought in a very special guest who I'll be interviewing and discussing about ... because you'll be finding out later on here on this very episode. Enjoy! Hey guys, before we get into this interview, I actually wanted to play a couple of songs that Julie has shared with me from her upcoming EP, Distance, and the songs that we'll be playing in this episode are Boys in Dresses, Run Out of Love, and Strangers. Stranger will be played after the interview, so you guys can also, again, get a taste of, how Distance is going to be, what's the vibe, what's the energy, and you just learn more about her upcoming EP and what it meant to her and everything, and, with her bandmates, Kaleidoscope, so I'm really excited about this, so stay tuned and enjoy listening.
I never wanna look back, left the party even before it started. I'm sick, maybe I'm a bit cold, never had the heart to even tell you how I fell for you. But I can't get you off of my mind, I've been thinking about you the whole plane ride. I'm leaving the grounds we've walked together, I know the sky we will share forever. Could I?
Yeah, so I'm Julie Miranda. I'm a singer-songwriter from Brooklyn. I'm 18 right now, and I love everything music. I've been doing solo stuff for a while. Just started like busking in the subways, just building up my confidence that way. Just getting involved in like music camps, music programs. And now I play with the band, and they're just like some of my greatest friends. So, and also my EP coming out tomorrow, which I'm really, really excited for. It's my first one coming out, and like there's so many people that have been part of it. So that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. And like, as you were explaining your musical background, do you have any like influences? Like, if you want to explain your artistry.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me take it back a little bit. So I think I really, everyone loves listening to music, right? But I think I really started honing in on like, this is more than just me wanting to listen to music. This is me like wanting to play music, wanting to be in music. And I think that started with my mom, and she actually taught me how to play my first musical instrument, which was a ukulele. And I was 10 years old, and I was really I really loved watching Grace VanderWaal, which was, I'm pretty sure, on America's Got Talent, and I think she was like the winner, and she had played like these really sweet songs like on the ukulele, and so that was like my first initial inspiration, and then from there I had moved on to guitar because another person that I really looked up to was Ed Sheeran. And I really I was very, very inspired by artists that put a lot of heart and soul into their songwriting. And I really looked up to that. So I think my musical journey has grown a lot with my love for songwriting. So I think, yeah, I've always delved into like mainly the pop genre, but also, dipping into like R&B and soul. And so, yeah, I think that's really how I got my start, just through playing the ukulele and the guitar. And then because I loved, artists that love songwriting so much, I also began to write my own music. And that really helped when I picked up the guitar, and I just started borrowing chords and melodies from like songs that I covered, and just kind of incorporating that into my own songwriting to create my own meaning in music.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, like you don't limit yourself. So I think that's like really cool. And speaking of genres, like as you begin your journey in like indie pop music, like what are you learning on the way?
I think I've always been put into the box of like my music being pop, and for a while that kind of bothered me because I have been playing in that genre for a while, and because I was kind of like put in that box of like, oh, like she's like a pop singer, right? I initially thought it was like this very like generic term to describe just like a four chord song or like like just like this like upbeat like simple music. But what I'm learning as like I play pop is that it's such like a huge and versatile genre, and it's like an umbrella term for other musical genres, and it's not a box, and I feel like it offers a lot of flexibility in terms of the music I can create. So I'm just slowly learning that this the genre isn't a box. It's more of something that you learn to work with, and you learn to dip your feet into other genres because it's such like a huge umbrella term.
Yeah. And like when it comes to your music, what is the process behind it? Like what kind of mindset are you in when you're creating it?
um I think when I'm making my music, I love the fact there's just so many ways to start with the song. Um, and so when I create a song, I like to refer to it as like an itch that I have,
Ooh.
um, and like an itch to just like I don't know, express how I'm feeling. And so scratching that itch is is actually writing the song and getting all of those thoughts like out of my head.
Yeah.
Um, so like my inspiration to write a song, there's always like many different ways to write it, but it's always like an emotion that it's always like an itch or an emotion I'm feeling really heavily, or just like a tune I'll wake up with in my head.
Mhm.
And it's just something that I can't just have it in my head. Like it can't just be like this abstract thing. Like it needs to be tangible. I want to see it, and I want to feel it. So I'll just pick up my guitar, and um, I know a lot of people. Some people tend to, write like the melody first and then top line over it. But I like writing while I'm playing. Like I like playing the guitar while I'm writing. And so I'll start feeling out like a tune and just playing along until I come up with words to describe this thing in my head that like you can't just explain by talking to someone else. You need to have it down for yourself.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think it's really beautiful to capture, emotions you can't just simply explain in a conversation, um, through songwriting.
Yeah. No, I love how you use the word itch, like almost like an itch in your brain that you really have to like get out. And
Yeah.
like I just love how you explain like how you also want to see it visually, not only through audio and stuff. So it's just like again like writing down everything while you like creating the music like with your guitar. So it's like everybody has different techniques, especially when it comes to like creating a song, but like
Mhm.
or like an itch like you said. But I really like your technique because some people go with like writing the lyrics first and then making the song, but you have your own way, you have your own style, so I really do appreciate that. And what was the process behind your EP Distance? Like any meaning behind the title, tracks, production?
Yes, yes. Okay. So I'm really excited to talk about this. Um, so all the songs in the EP were kind of just written in many different situations I've been in over the past year, and just like many like varying in terms of like just I don't know, people involved, or if there were people involved at all. I'm just myself, and I had never really thought about like it was more of just like I wrote the song at the time to get to express something that I needed to get out, to like scratch that itch. And I never really thought back about like, what the song had meant. It was more of just like I scratched the itch, it's out, and now like okay, now I feel like my feelings are kind of being validated through the
Mm.
song. And you kind of get desensitized to like the works that you create once I feel like you play them over and over and over, which I've been doing with the band. And then once the idea of an EP came up, I didn't even realize that like all of these songs that I've written were connected under like this same topic until my producer, who's also the guitarist of my band, he brought up that like all my songs are about feeling distant from
Yeah.
someone, from something, from yourself. And then it kind of just clicked for me like wow, like this is how I've been kind of feeling lately. And I haven't even realized that like all of these songs are connected with this theme. And so from there, all of these ideas for the EP just started coming up about, you know, hence the name of the EP,
Yeah.
Distance. Um, so, and in terms of the process of like creating these songs, so I had mentioned before that the guitarist of my band is actually also my producer. So his name's Ian Sue. He also has like his own band called Ian Sue and the Polynomials, and he is just like an incredible guitarist, incredible producer, and he has like his own like homemade like studio setup in his room in Queens. And so when we've been performing the songs for a while with Kaleidoscope, and when we finally decided that we want these songs for people to like listen to on platforms, like let's start producing it. Um, Over like the past several months, I would go to his house like multiple times a week with the pianist of our band, who was also very intent on like helping us produce. And we would just, work on these songs for hours and hours, and just listen to them. And Ian would print out the mix once we were done for the day, and we would just listen to them on our commutes to school, places that we were going, just like pop in our headphones and just listen to them and just message each other like these are things we could fix for the next time we work on them. And so we spent a lot of time to get these songs like polished and finished. And so that was a huge part in creating this EP called Distance. And then another big part was this organization that this nonprofit that we perform with called Kids Rock for Kids, and they had hosted these songwriting sessions at this venue that's actually really close to NYU, that helped us develop our sound for these songs. And they also gave us the opportunity to go to a recording studio, and a lot of the stems and a lot of the takes that we took at the recording studio were also used in the EP. So there were a lot of people that were involved in the creation of this EP, and just a lot of hard work and a lot of effort to create the album.
Oh, that's so cool. And like especially like what you were saying, like, working with a nonprofit organization and like, they them like giving you the opportunity to like, work in like a studio, and like also how you were speaking about like, the guitarist part of your, band is like also your producer. So I think that's really cool, making like connections. And like speaking of connections, I did want to ask a question, like since like the meaning, like you explained the meaning behind your like EP Distance, is this like in a way like, I don't know if this makes sense, but like kind of bringing you back to yourself, like while making these songs for the EP? Like, because I know you mentioned, like being distanced from yourself or like from other people. So it's like, is this in a way kind of like bring you back to yourself?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the EP has there's so many things that I feel like I, for one, and a lot of people can relate to, because it's not just about being distant from people, but also just feeling like this dissonance and distance with yourself. So that's definitely something I felt when creating these songs, and something very much interlaced within all of the songs, but especially one that's already out, called Mirrors. And that song, I feel like I specifically resonate with, just because the lyrics that I wrote, and at the time, I was just very frustrated with not being able to focus on myself, and not like appreciating who I was and like my identity. And so that's something that I feel like I really hone in on, with that song, Mirrors. And it's so funny because it's such like an upbeat song, but if you really listen to the lyrics, it's really about like, I want to look in the mirror and see my face. I don't, I want to like connect with myself. I want to feel myself. Um, so yeah, for sure, for sure. I feel like it's about, being distant from really anything you could think of.
Yeah. Also, Mirrors is my favorite song.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh.
But what are you most excited about when it comes to the EP?
I'm just honestly, I'm just excited for it to come out. Like I said before, like we've just been working on it for like so long, and just a lot of like time and effort has gone into it, and so many people like in this music community that I've created with like Kids Rock for Kids, within NYU, and like with Kaleidoscope. It's just like this huge like web of, connections that's just helped me create what's coming out tomorrow. And I'm just so excited for people to listen to it. And also I really relate to the concept of my EP, and I think I was worried initially that like, because I'm not really good with like this whole like finding like a concept, and like I feel like I'm really good at just writing songs that how about how I feel, and how I feel can range a lot. So I was worried about finding a way to like, neatly tie this EP in. Um, and so I'm just glad that the concept of, feeling distant is something that I really relate with, and I feel like a lot of people can relate with. And so I'm just happy that something is coming out that represents, what I've been feeling.
Yeah. And like also, are you like planning on having like any tours like with the EP, or like have you done a tour with the EP?
Yeah, so funny you mentioned that. My band and I have been doing what we call like our spring tour, and it's really just like a compilation of gigs that we've been pulling from across the city. So we're going to like some of my bandmates' high schools, and even at we have a bandmate that goes to like Stony Brook, and they hold like this huge festival, and they always have like a headline like a huge headliner, at these festivals called Brookfest. And so A Boogie headlined this year, and so we got to open, and so we played at that. So it was just like us, like, it's our spring tour, and it's also us just going to different parts of the city, and we're always playing, these songs that are going to be on the EP. And who knows, once the album comes out, like maybe we'll do something else for it, but we're definitely going to continue to keep pushing the songs.
Oh my god, wait, that's so cool. And
Yeah.
like yeah, and it's like, are you guys still continuing the spring tour, or is it like any more dates coming up you want to mention?
Yeah, oh my
Or
gosh, for sure. Let me pull it up really quick. But
yeah.
this Sunday, there is a Fifth Avenue fair happening in Park Slope, and so we're gonna be performing at that. That's like also gonna be the first time we perform since the EP release. So that's gonna be really exciting. And then just over the summer, like people can keep up on our Instagram, Kaleidoscope the band. And we're always posting dates there. And like this summer we have like a lot of gigs lined up. With Kids Rock for Kids, they have like this global festival. So there are bands coming from like across the country to come and perform at this. So there's just a lot going on this summer that we'll definitely like continue to play the songs and push them out.
Oh my god. I may not be in New York this summer, but like I'm like wishing you the best always, and like
Thank
especially like with your
you.
tours. And
Oh my
like I
god.
love, yeah, how many people will like pop up to come see you and like Kaleidoscope. So I'm like, she's doing her own thing, like,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you so
But I
much.
did also wanted to ask, is there any songs from the EP that you like, or would you change?
Yeah, I mean, I like adore all of the songs from the EP. I mean, they all have like their own like personal like resonance with me. I have a song about the Philippines on there that many people may not know that it's about the Philippines. I have, a song that I was inspired to write after watching like a Shawn Mendes documentary. Like there's just so many different stories like on this EP. But one that I really love the most is called Strangers, and it's the first one on the EP. And I feel like it's just a very artistic way of describing like feeling like you're fading away from someone you're really close to. Because I kind of compare this to just like, looking at strangers on the subway.
Mm.
And I feel like it's a very New York-esque theme song. So I really like the first song on the EP. And in terms of things I would change, there's always it, like when it comes to your own craft, you're never done. there's always you always have to set like your own deadline,
Yeah.
because if you let yourself continue to work on it till you think it's perfect, you're never going to think it's perfect. So I'm happy with the way that the songs turned out. There's always things that, anybody that's creating art wishes that they could do more before putting it out to the world. But I feel like me, Ian, and Gavin, we like really did our best with these songs, and so we're just excited for people to listen to it.
I did wanted to ask when you talked about strangers, I was like, oh my God, this popped into my head. Is that why you were like asking questions on like your Instagram, like how many strangers do you get like on the subway? And I was like, wait,
Oh my
that's
god,
like good
yes.
promo right there. I did not realize that.
Yes,
Like, oh my
yes. Oh my
God.
gosh. Yeah, that
Wow.
is most definitely the reason I have been, heavily like asking like, polls and questions on my story. Because I think we really tied in with this idea of like I said, there's so many ways that you can be distanced from things, but like
Mhm.
also distance as like a concept of, train times, and like just there's just so many ways to like kind of like incorporate that with like the subway.
Yeah.
But yes, that has been the reason I've been advertising it that way.
No, I love that. And I also didn't want to mention I love like how you're pulling like, influences not only from like Shawn Mendes like artists, but also like from your own like background and identities.
Mhm.
Mention you're from the Philippines. So, there's a song about the Philippines and I'm looking forward to listening to that as well. So like
Thank
I
you.
love how like this EP has like, a lot of songs that are really close and dear to your heart, in life in general as well, in your life. So like I really do love that. So I see this is a very like personal, but also, like I think a song that I think many people can relate to if they can, but I really do see like, the type of vibe that you're bringing with, distance.
Mhm. Thank you, thank you.
Hmm. And what is it like being part of, Kaleidoscope? Like what is your role? Like who are your bandmates and the roles?
Kaleidoscope is amazing. They're not like they're like everyone in the band are extremely not only extremely talented musicians, but everyone else there also are really good people, and there's some of my greatest friends. Like not only do we play music together, but we have sleepovers, we hang out. It's just like I feel like Kaleidoscope is the perfect example of like when things just perfectly fall into place. Because I didn't meet them all at once, and when we met, we didn't have this intention of being a band and like being like super committed to these songs, and playing music, and playing these gigs across the city. It had started with me just like I wanted to play, like it was my first gig with Kids Rock for Kids, and I was like I need to bring a band together, like I can't just be doing this like by myself, because the format that Kids Rock for Kids work in are just like they invite bands to play. Um, but the way the band looked back then is completely different from the sound and the way the band looks like now. um so yeah, like I said, it was just a matter of just going to different music programs and meeting people, and like all of a sudden it's like you have like your greatest friends, and a group of like talented musicians in one place. So it's really incredible being part of Kaleidoscope, especially when you're able to build bonds with people,
Hmm.
like through music. I think it's such like a crazy special connection. And so yeah, in terms of my role, I'm lead vocalist, and currently I write all of our music. We're a 7-piece band. We have our pianist who also plays the sax, and he pulls out the sax for like songs like Brand New whenever we perform that live. Our drummer, second vocalist, um, two guitarists, and one bassist. And yeah, that's our band.
Wow. No, I'm really glad like, you guys all of you guys have a very strong connection, and it's just like again, like you said, like just like bonding over music because some people have different music tastes, and like, do you guys all have, different music tastes, or you guys all come together when it comes to like music and
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because we all have like very different music tastes, and that's what I find like so interesting about art. our band. And so like our guitarist, for example, like one of them is very much like jazz funk, and then another one is like heavy metal. um and then like our second vocalist, Kat, is like R&B. um and our pianist is just very much like straight out pop. Our drummer is very jazz. And so yeah, everyone does definitely have their musical like influences that I feel like really reflect our name of Collide, because our we have like a different spelling of our name, Collide, Collide. So I feel like that really like all our musical genres kind of coming together
Oh wow.
really does reflect the name of our band. But with that being said, I don't think like, because everyone in the band has such like an open mind about what we play and our sound, and which our sound is also something we're still developing, but I don't think we really clash, because we do work together in terms of creating the sound for the band, and just knowing that like everyone has to like compromise a little bit. There might be genres that we really love, but when it comes to playing with the band, we have our sound that we're trying to polish. And even like these like different musical genres actually bring more ideas into the band, so it's really a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. And like, do you guys have any like, or is there any future plans coming up with Kaleidoscope or with you in general?
I think we're just really focused on this summer. And the band started with me like writing most, if not all, of our music. And so what we want to do as a band is start writing songs together. And so that's probably going to change our sound a lot. And I don't know, it's going to be fun to experiment and explore. So yeah, this summer we're going to be writing more songs together, and we're just going to keep playing gigs. We're going to keep having fun. We have a lot of performances lined up for the summer. And we're just going to try to push out this EP, because although it is my lyrics, my melody, they've also played such a huge part in like making the song sound as it is. Because when we were creating this EP, we were kind of like referring back to how these songs sounded when we played them live. So they have played such a huge part in how these songs sound. And so I'm just like, yeah, I think we're just going to be writing more music together and just keep playing gigs and just keep having fun.
Wow, no, that's really cool, and like I really do love how you guys again, like you said, experimenting, with different things, but also like working on your sound, and like I'm excited to see like where that goes, and like and see like how it progresses, so yeah, throughout you guys' music career, so yeah.
Thank you. I'm really excited to see where everything goes too. I mean, like we've only been together, the whole band. Our band relationship has only been like a year now, and I'm just excited to see where we go in like the next few years. I'm just excited for tomorrow as well, when everyone gets to finally hear what we've been working on. So yeah, thank you.
Yes. Oh my God, of course. No, thank you. Thank you for this interview. I'm so glad to interview about your, bands, and also about your upcoming EP that's coming tomorrow. Oh my God. Make sure you guys listen to Distance, okay? Really coming out tomorrow. Is it coming out like at 12 in the morning?
Yeah,
Like,
12
okay,
a.m.
12 in the
12
morning. Make sure you guys stay up, okay?
Aw.
It's going to be on all streaming platforms. Make sure you guys listen. Thank you so much, Julia.
Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you for having me. This was great.
Of course. Thank you. You
All
have a good
right.
summer.
You too. Thank you again.